Join me today to make this delicious, easy pie. It's key lime pie. It always sets up for me. It's just so easy, delicious. A great one for Thanksgiving. Great one for the summer, just because it's really refreshing too. I bring this one and a pumpkin pie to my Thanksgiving, and it is gone. I never have any to bring home, which always kind of makes me a little bit sad, but it's just so good. Creamy, but you absolutely need to add the whipped cream. But join me today, and we will make this very simple key lime pie. I will give you tips on how to make it even more simple, but follow the way I do it, and it's still very easy. Let me show you what it takes to make it, and let's get started. So we want 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk and 1 pound of key limes. Now, not just limes, these have to be key limes. They're different, they're sweeter. I'm going to juice these, but you can buy key lime juice, not lime juice, but key lime juice. So we need either a pound of the key limes or 1/3 of a cup key lime juice. Then we need a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I've zested 2 of the key limes, so it's probably about a 1/2 tablespoon, but just it adds a little bit of flavor. And then we have a prepared graham cracker crust, and let's get started. Okay, we are going to make a homemade graham cracker crust. So I have 1 sleeve of graham crackers that I have made into graham cracker crumbs. It's probably about 1 1/4 cup. And I will show you how to make them yourself, or feel free to buy them. And then we have a 1/4 of a cup sugar, and then we have 5 tablespoons melted butter. So this is so simple. I've started my oven. I'm preheating it to 375. So we are going to take a sleeve of the graham cracker, and I do have a food processor, little mini one, but let me just show you real quick. If you did not, and this is how I grew up, I'm gonna take and squish these a little bit. The package is open, but break them up just a little bit. Take a Ziploc bag, throw them in here, shake them down. You want to get the air out of it the best you can, and then seal it up while kind of squishing that air out, like that. I'm going to take it, squish it, and then you need a rolling pin, and you just squish these really flat, and then you shake it around. I'm not doing the full job here, but you get the gist of it, of like just keep squishing it, smashing it, smashing it. And if you feel you have too much air, you'll let some of that out. Also, there is the option of buying the crumbs. For Thanksgiving, I do try to not do things store-bought, but the crumbs, I mean, you're buying the graham crackers made at the store, so it's up to you what you feel. Okay, but that's all I'm going to do on that, because I am going to dump it in this. So normally just break them up just a little bit, like I did when I first threw them in here. And then this is a lot easier. Not to say that other thing is that hard, but if you have this, it's definitely a difference. Let's snap this lid on. And sometimes I'll shake it around, do it a little bit more. Okay, let's look. You can see you have a nice fine crumb there. So that's what we're going to do with that. Just have a bowl. We're going to add these graham cracker crumbs in, then the sugar. This recipe is super simple, but this is one step that you want to make sure you do. is to mix the dry crumbs and the sugar before you add the butter. Because once you add the butter, you're almost going to clump up everything and it won't be dispersed properly. So to that, we're going to add the 5 tablespoons melted butter. I just melted this in the microwave, but make sure you cover it. If your microwave has a butter melting button, definitely it's much easier and better with that. Okay, and then we just kind of fluff this all around, intermix it. And this is what will make it bind and stick together into that yummy crust. And this crust I do bake. You don't have to bake it, just chill it for a couple hours before you use it. But I really enjoy baking it. I feel like it solidifies it a bit better and it bakes really quickly, so it's not even a time taker. Okay, I feel good about that. Also, I mean, I like to do it in a bowl, but you really could mix it all directly in the pie pan. So throw it in there. Okay, I like to try to get the sides of it first. First, you might think, oh, it's not sticking well. Just keep at it, just keep patting, just keep pushing. It will come together. Don't want it super thick, so some of these areas pat it out or slightly kind of shave it off and start patting again if it starts to get a little too thick. But the biggest thing is that you want it even. It's easy for it to build up, so you have a huge ring around here. So in a little bit I will do some things to help get rid of that. You just want to have it even, because it will be kind of weird if it has like a huge mound in the middle here or a huge mound on the edge. And so do the best you can to make it even. There's going to be a little bit more on the bottom than the sides usually. I mean, really, it just takes a little bit of time, but it is not complicated at all. Add a little bit more to where it looks a little thin on the sides. Okay, I think we're about there. Really, this will be under everything. You don't need to be too perfect with it. Okay, put it in the oven for 4 to 5 minutes until you see a light browning of the edges. Okay, here it is. We're going to let it cool. Okay, that's it. It's done. Now remember, I said you could make this with just using pre-juiced key limes. So that's a 3/4 of a cup, or we will do 16 ounces of whole key limes and get the juice from that. The ounces for the limes is the whole lime, not the juice. Okay, we also want to preheat our oven to 350. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, are these limes. So I'm not going to tell you it's not hard, but it's not unbelievably hard, if that makes sense. Also for this, you're going to want whipped cream. That helps to balance out the tartness of the key lime. So definitely whip some up. Now this year I have a different contraption for juicing it. We'll see how that goes. A lot of years I have just used a reamer and then I strained it to get the juice. But I'm gonna give this a whirl and hope that it works well. Also, a long time ago where I had nothing, I would use a fork and just put the fork in there and twist it. So you can do it with all kinds of different equipment, and as you grow with your kitchen, invest in different things. And I'm just going to put it directly in the bowl. I'm going to mix this all in. So see how this goes. I'm gonna put the little lime there, and then I'm just going to squeeze it down. Give it a second, maybe rearrange it, squeeze it again. Okay, so far so good. This is the easiest I've ever had it. You probably don't want me to show you the entire process. It's going to look really similar to this over and over again. So let me do a couple with you, and then I will break and come back. Okay, let's come back in just a minute. Okay, so I have poured off the juice into a cup. I'm going to strain it. So I did it in the bowl, poured it into the measuring cup just to be able to transfer it back because there was a few seeds coming through. This is my first year using that. And so I just want to make sure we don't have that. And it does come out to 3/4 cup with that pound of key limes. Okay, and in the end, it looks like there was maybe 3 seeds or so, but you would not want that in your pie. You wouldn't want to get that bite. It would kind of be bitter. And the 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. This is sometimes sticky and messy. I like to use a little spatula. Just kind of scrape in there. You can use a spoon, but you want to get the walls of it clean just so that you get the correct amount of the sweetened condensed milk. So we just put all of these ingredients into the bowl. We're going to whisk it up. If you don't have a mixing machine, just whisk it until it's really smooth and all incorporated. So really take the extra effort, make sure you scrape down the sides and just get it all nice and smooth. Okay, so the 1/2 cup sour cream. Okay, and the zest. So now I'm going to attach it to the mixer, but here is where you would just whisk it. And just like with anything that you bake, you want to make sure you go in and scrape it because it might be looking great and all combined, but just to find out that you have a lump of ingredients in the bottom. Turn it on again. Okay, that is it. 1, 2. So fill this into the pie shell. Just gonna kind of spread this out and I get it nice and even all the way around. And then we are going to bake this for about 5 to 6 minutes. You're not looking for browning or anything, it's just helping it set up. Okay, let's get it into the oven. Let's get it into the oven. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna let it cool here for maybe about 1/2 hour or less, and then I'm going to move it to the fridge and let it chill overnight or for a couple of hours. So just depends on how soon you need it, but you want it to be nice and chilled and firm up. So I've whipped up some fresh whipped cream. You don't have to do it, but really it just adds a really simple, sweet creaminess to it. And I'm going to add it per piece. And this isn't very stable, so you can't leave it that way for very long. You can garnish it with a little lime, cut thin, sliced to spread open. Okay, let's cut into this. Unless I'm going to serve the entire thing, and I know everybody wants the same size piece, I cut just a little at a time, even if there's a lot of us. That way the portion you don't use is all together and more stable. When you're cutting, make sure you really get these corners all the way to the bottom. put the whipped cream directly on it. And the biggest thing is the taste. You are going to love, love, love how this tastes. So definitely get a bit of the whipped cream with every bite. It's so delicious. You definitely have to try this. See you next time. Happy holidays.